Brainstorm Studio Senior Holiday Project Celts. Who were the Celts? The Celts were fierce warriors from Central Europe. By 200 BCE, their civilization stretched across much of Northern and Western Europe. The Celts did not have a single empire like the Romans. Instead, they lived in separate tribes with similar languages, religion, and customs. The Romans and Greeks wrote about them as swaggering barbarians who drank too much and indulged in nasty human sacrifices. But the Celts were actually skilled metalworkers who made advanced iron weapons, strong armor, and sturdy war chariots. Celtic beliefs. The Celts had many gods and goddesses who they believed had a power over this world and the next. A god with a stag antler appears on many Celtic images, as you can see on the picture on the right over there. The Celts sacrificed valuable objects and animals to their gods, and sometimes people too. They threw precious objects into rivers and lakes, which they believed to be entrance of the world of the gods. The Celts believed that people journey to a world of spirits after death. Great feasts were held after death. Great feasts were held as preparation for burials of Celtic leaders. Celtic home life. The Celts belonged to tribes ruled by kings, queens, and chieftains. Celtic women had more rights than Greek or Roman women. They could rule as queens and would even go into battle, as Queen Botica did. Most people were farmers living in small villages or on farms, but some Celts lived in larger settlements that were more like towns. Houses were built of wood or stone. A central fire heated the inside of the house and also served to cook meat or boil water. Members of the family wove clothes on looms, worked as farmers, and made pots. Wealthy Celtic people lived in larger houses filled with bronze, silver, and gold furnishings that displayed their power and wealth. Celtic warriors. The Celts were fierce, proud warriors who loved fighting and feasting. They held great banquets lasting several days to celebrate victories in battle. Unlike the Romans who fought in tightly disciplined groups, the Celts battled as individual warriors, each seeking personal glory. The Celts fought many battles against each other. In some areas, they built forts and rocks to protect their families and belongings from attack. The Greeks and Romans were shocked by many Celtic practices, such as headhunting and human sacrifice. Celtic weapons. The Celts fought with swords and daggers that were usually made from iron. The warriors fought on foot or on horseback. Sometimes they stood on two-horse chariots and threw iron javelins toward the enemy. They wore helmets with animal and bird crest. They sometimes wore horned helmets too, especially on ceremonial occasions. High-ranking warriors wore tall crested helmets. Celtic lands. Celtic tribes lived in many areas of Europe. They were very different from their southern neighbors, the Greeks and Romans. Celtic armies threatened both, attacking Rome in 387 BCE and invading Greece in 279 BCE. Some of these invaders then crossed into Galatia, which is modern-day Turkey, and built settlements there. Around 200 BCE, the Romans began to encroach on Celtic territory. By the end of the 100 CE, Ireland alone remained unconquered by Rome. Boudica. Boudica was the queen of the Iceni, a Celtic tribe from eastern England. She is famous for leading a rebellion in 60 CE against the Romans who ruled Britain. Boudica had been married to Perseuticus, the ruler of the Iceni people. When Perseuticus died, the Romans seized his kingdom and mistreated his family. Boudica and her warriors rebelled, destroying several important Roman cities. Finally, Boudica was defeated and died either from sickness or by taking poison to avoid being captured by the Romans.